Peace. The truth is always and will always be better than a lie. Main problem with a lie is that it's not the truth, and you got to keep up with it. So eventually, you're going to get away from the lie and back to the truth. And anything you built on a lie is going to fall apart because you have to get back to the truth, right? I used to have a girlfriend at one point. A girlfriend that I had years ago. I used to lie to her all the time, right? And there goes the sun. The clouds gonna move eventually. But I used to lie to her all the time, right? And you end up having to remember the lie and keep up with the lie. And you have to live a lie. You know what I mean? Because anytime I lie, it's like moving forward, that's what she knows as the truth now, right? And now I have to train myself to believe the lie so that the lie will be my first thought. If she ever asks, or if anything about that situation ever comes up again, I got to be able to make that original lie that I told feel like the truth, feel like my first thought, because you always gonna think of the truth first until you program your mind to think of the lie first, right? Horrible. But yeah. So over time, I'm piling on lies. Of course, I was just like, being promiscuous and stuff and just acting like I wasn't and saying I wasn't, right? And I'm sure she was like getting reports and just wondering, but she was good. She had stuff she was focused on, so she wasn't always worried about it. But like stuff would come up and you ask or you hear stuff or whatever, and sometimes this stuff was lies. It would surprise me sometimes how many times like I would be lied on and stuff would be made up about me. But then looking back, it's like that probably made my lies better for me. It made it a better case for my lies. It's like, well, all the real times people is really lying on me, it's like it's easier to believe that my lies are truth. Horrible, right? But anyways, yeah. Eventually, all that fell apart. She caught me in a lie. She knew I was lying. She knew I was weak, because whenever you lying, it's like I'm basically lying because I'm afraid to tell the truth. I'm afraid of the consequences of the truth, right? It's like instead of just telling her that, yeah, I'm out here, I want to be out here, you know what I mean, I'm gonna be doing other stuff, and let her either decide to stay with me or decide to go do her own thing and maybe find somebody who ain't gonna be out here doing what I was doing. I'm like, bam, I'm a lie. So it's either afraid of the consequence, or you could say just don't want the consequence. Here we go. That's what I need. You can say just don't want the consequence. Give me some light. You know what I mean? It don't always have to be a fear. It could really just be a preference, right? But either way, it's like you're creating darkness for the other person. You're creating a lie. You're putting the other person in darkness on purpose in order to have your own personal gain. And that's horrible, right? It's really like not love. It's really not the truth. It's not living in truth. It's making somebody else live a lie in order to live your own lie. You know what I mean? So, yeah, eventually she found out I was lying. That fell apart. And just like anybody else who is creating and living a lie and it falls apart, you go into like a stage of darkness in order to tap back into the truth. When you live in a lie, when you deep in a lie, it really takes a state of darkness, confusion, feeling lost, you know what I mean, not knowing what to do, in order to like release that lie completely and actually find your way back to the truth. That's another horrible thing about a lie. It's like, yeah, once you lie, you gotta go deeper and deeper into the lie until it is painful to get back to the truth. You know what I mean? The further you go into the lie, the more you build up on the lie and make it your reality, the more you believe the lie and make other people believe the lie, getting back to the truth is painful. You know what I mean? That's what Diddy going through. That's what a lot of people go through. It's like his stuff was covered up for so long, so much that it just was his lifestyle. He didn't pull out. It's like when you live in a lie, and when you going further and further into blindness and darkness, into a lie, it's like the only way to save yourself is to pull out before you pushed out. You know what I mean? And I'm fortunate enough to say that there have been lies that I've lived that I didn't know at the time that I was living a lie, or ones that I created and I just didn't have clarity to think and understand like this, to where like the example I just told you, I was pushed out, right? But there's been times where I pulled out before I've had to be pushed out. And afterwards, I was so grateful that I realized this and I found this clarity, because it's way better to pull out than to be pushed out. Because being pushed out is going to be painful, man. It's like you was in way too deep. You didn't know you could be in too deep. And then you was pushed out. And it don't feel good. It's never going to feel good to be pushed out of the lie. But it's better for you than continuing to go deeper and deeper into the lie. You know what I mean? So it's like, the sooner you pushed out, the better. You should be grateful. Of course, it's going to be painful. It might be hard to be grateful at first. But eventually, in retrospect, you're going to look back and be like, yo, I was grateful that I was pushed out 4 years in and not 8 years in. You know what I mean? Being pushed out 8 years in would have been way more painful. Would have been way worse. You know what I mean? It would have been way worse, man. Living a lie is painful. It's actually painful to live the lie before you even get pushed out. Like, and that's why a lot of times you might end up pulling out. Because living that lie is eventually, if you don't know already, you'll know you living a lie. It won't feel real. It won't feel authentic. You know what I mean? And that's how I end up pulling out before I'm pushed out, because it's like, dang, this don't even feel right. And it's not always that I told a lie, it's just that I went a way that wasn't optimal, or it was only for the moment, maybe. You know what I mean? It wasn't the truth, the everlasting truth for me. You know what I mean? It was a temporary thing that I needed to learn what the truth really was, so I could understand this as a solid principle for my life, and not just think that it's something that some people do. It's like, oh, that's why they say do that. I went that way because I ain't believe them, or because I ain't totally understand it. Now I understand it. You know what I mean? Understand it, learn to understand it so much that I pull out and I get back to the truth. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. It's way more important. Like, think about it. You never want to, like, every time you lie, dudes be lying to get with a woman, right? And it's like, every time you lie to get with a woman, you creating problems for yourself. It's like she gonna end up toxic, or you gonna disappear and be toxic, and now you building a bad reputation for yourself, or now you having to harden yourself and act like you don't care about nobody because people stop caring about you, or because people look at you a certain way because of how you moving, right? Or something is wrong. You got this great woman who you see as a great woman, and you feel like a horrible man because you be lying and doing whatever on the side or whatever, because you've been lying and you know it. It don't feel good. It's like you'll have certain things, you'll be happy, feeling good that you got the woman and that y'all can lay together, y'all can enjoy the time. But half the time you thinking about the lies you told and how you doing her wrong, and you're just not feeling good about it until you learn to lie to yourself about it and make that feel like, okay, I'm doing right, it's cool. And then eventually it's just all gonna fall down, crumble, and get you back right, and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be upsetting. It's gonna be confusing. And you either gonna choose the truth or you gonna choose another lie. Will you choose the truth? Will you heal like I heal? Will we heal? I will. Indeed. Let's get it. I will heal. We will heal. together if you're here with me. Subscribe. Come on, let's get it. Peace.